Welcome back to the show. Stephen King is the best-selling author of such books as Carrie and The Shining, both of which were made into old-fashioned movie thrillers. His other horror novels include The Stand and Salem's Lot, which became a TV special. He has now ventured into an original screenplay entitled Creepshow, which is vows till. We got a little mix-up here. What does it say there? Which he vows. Okay. Which he vows. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Which he vows will make his audience crawl out of the theater. There you go. Which you have this man's personal guarantee that you're going to be crawling out of the theater. That's the essence of this. Please make this assuming young man who makes his living frightening people VHS cold.
Moonshine doesn't pay like it used to.
Boyle Shonies.
More Shoney. I was supposed to be quiet at the beginning of this.
It's alright. Fuck it. Who cares? I'll find some noise gate stuff in the other parts.
More Shonies.
Build more Shonies, please. Shoney's been revitalized. Scott Steiner bring us Shonies.
Scott and Rick Steiner's own Shonies.
So his middle name is Rick. His brothers went by Rick Steiner, but his name's actually Rodney, right? I think that's
I don't remember those details.
I do. I'm a real smark. The Steiner brothers back in the 90s when they were good, and everyone like Scott Steiner was gonna get a big push back then because it was like he was like so athletic and could really move around the ring, blah blah. And then he just started doing a lot of steroids and couldn't move anymore, right? Isn't that what happens? Mm-hmm. And then he was just botching all over the place.
That's basically it. I always thought Rick Steiner was the better of the two.
I think when they went to the WWF back in the day, they were gonna try to push Scott Steiner as like he was gonna be champion.
He's gonna be a solo champion. No, he had to wait around for WCW for that.
Yeah, it's for like the fucking last days of WCW. Finally, Scott Steiner and Jeff Jarrett can get their recognition.
If anybody's wondering why we're talking about Shoney's and Scott Steiner's, because we just watched a video where Scott Steiner opened his own Shoney's.
We also watched Scott Steiner's workout DVD. I'll probably splice in a clip of that because he... Welcome to my freak show. This is the freak zone, baby.
Am I doing it right? Zone. No. Am I gonna hurt myself? Probably.
It's a freak show. This is Big Papa Pump, and you just witnessed me in my freak zone. Maybe it's right, maybe it ain't, but it's what I do to get me ready for my match. Now stay tuned, because I will get you ready for the match of your life.
Yeah,
it's freaky. It's not a creep show, it's a freak show.
Yeah, there's one other clip where he's like bench pressing. He's bench pressing quite a bit, right?
You don't know that, though.
I mean, they could be, the plates could be,
aluminum.
Mm-hmm. But he's like, fuck this bench press, and puts it down, and then he just picks up huge, like, dumbbells, and he's like, curls for the girls. And then he doesn't mention anything about, like, weight, or sets, or form, or anything. It's just like, after you bench press and, hurt your shoulder feels like it's about to explode from doing 400 pounds. Get to these bicep curls. Curls for the girls. I don't know, just more steroids.
That's when he's told me that he had a workout video. I'm like, is it just him shooting steroids for an hour and a half?
It's
not far off.
It's not a workout video. I mean, he's not teaching you anything. It's just, here, watch Scott Steiner look like he's about to hurt himself a lot. And then he doesn't get hurt because steroids. This is VHS Cult. We got more important things to talk about than Scott Steiner, the freak show.
We got Stephen King and George Romero's The Creepshow.
Creepshow. For that, though, Typhoon, It ruined the Rugby World Cup.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Typhoon.
From wrestling?
Yeah, the natural disaster fame. His original name was Tugboat.
Tugboat.
He's a big fat guy.
Yeah, he was always teamed with Earthquake. Big John Tenta.
Sumo champion.
Talking about real Typhoon in Japan.
Now it was a smart.
Ruined the World Cup. Ruined the Rugby World Cup. It was bullshit. Scotland is like, if you cancel our game against Japan, we're going to sue you.
That doesn't sound like Scotland.
That's what they said. Because they canceled like the Italy and so it gets counted as a draw, which means Italy doesn't make it to the semifinals, and then so
Scotland wasn't gonna make it through. Anyway.
Well, if they beat Japan, they will.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think their game is scheduled for tomorrow, and I think they're actually gonna play it. The problem is a lot of the games are taking place down in the south where the typhoon wasn't going to affect at all, so they kept playing, and then anyone who was up around Tokyo couldn't play.
You feel like you just moved the games.
I figured that, why wouldn't you? And they're like, no, we only got time. This Rugby World Cup takes place over a month and a half, but there's no way we can just spread these games out. Also, my tire was sabotaged this week.
Oh, what was that? Was it actually cut? You get sliced?
I brought it back to the tire shop over here because we took it off and couldn't find anything wrong with it. And I was like, maybe like just the stem is messed up.
Yeah.
And then brought it into them, and because I had the warranty on it, so I didn't have to pay for the tire. They like took their sweet time doing anything.
Yeah.
I had to call them to find out if they were done, because they didn't give a fuck because they were gonna get money. And yeah, basically it's just like, there's like a slash or a tear on the tire. We couldn't figure out what it's from, so some jilted lover probably came by. There's someone who listens to this podcast and doesn't like my extreme political takes. I don't know why they would know where I live, though.
They're just really good at the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's pretty fucking messed up. But free tire. And why is everybody's so thirsty for the Mothman?
I wasn't aware that was a thing.
Yeah, what's the deal? What's the deal?
When people look at the Mothman,
they want to fuck the Mothman.
He's so mothy.
I
don't know if I have a good Seinfeld.
Is it sure?
People ride bicycles.
It's like it's because he's spooky and he shows up with bad news.
Is that
like a desirable trait?
No. I don't. You know what? Two things I never look for in a woman were spookiness and bad news.
If that's what it is, like if it's spooky dude shows up with bad news, then I can be your Mothman, baby.
Day watch update.
Why you always come around with bad news?
Dark wings, dark words.
That's like Mothman. Me would be like knocking on the window of some like goth girl's bedroom.
Climate change will ruin us all.
Open window and like, and be like, got some spooky news. The reason why the Hong Kong protests are getting a lot of coverage is because they're pro-colonial and pro-capitalism. You won't see Ecuador, Haiti, or Iraq on the mainstream media news. Oh God! And then she's like, let me suck that Mothman dick. I love spooky, sad news. Right? It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. The reason. I don't know. Maybe.
Yikes. So we're gonna talk about Creepshow. First, we gotta talk about Creepshow TV show. You watch Creepshow TV show yet? Show?
I didn't watch Creepshow TV show yet. Show Mo.
It's on Shudder. You can watch it anytime. You got my login.
I don't have your Shudder account. I haven't watched it though. You said Stephen King did write one of the stories, right?
Yeah. So far, none of his episodes. I think he did two. So far, none of his stories are on there, but there's only 3 episodes left.
Who else contributed?
So far, no one of note that I'm familiar with, except for Greg Nicotero is running the show, which
it's a weird choice.
I mean, The Walking Dead sucks. It's a shitty TV show, right? But Greg Nicotero is like Tom Savini's protege, and he is really good at practical effects still, and like knows how to do horror shit. So, despite The Walking Dead being terrible, I still like Greg Nicotero, and he's doing an all right job with Creepshow, so that's fine. Fucking The Walking Dead is not a very good comic book either, so.
Oh. I forgot the guy that writes The Walking Dead. He does.
Kirkman.
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman.
Powerful. What is the other one?
Just Powers.
Powers. I want to talk about the obvious Tales from the Crypt Creepshow, Tales from the Crypt scenario. So, Creepshow is obviously a takeoff of like the old horror comic books, right? Which Tales from the Crypt was a horror comic book in the 50s, and they're kind of just doing Tales from the Crypt. And then about 5-6 years after this show, or out this movie, the Tales from the Crypt show starts.
Yeah.
So who copied who?
This Creepshow is specifically an homage to EC Comics, who printed
Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. And the guy that did all the drawings in the film and Creepshow and all the panel changes.
Are they from the same
that's
artist?
one
Some
of the
them are
art.
artists.
That's one of the
Yeah.
EC Comics artists. They had full blessing from EC Comics. It's not like they just were like, oh yeah, let's copy this shit.
I know. I'm not even thinking. I mean, it's again, it's more of a
Probably
homage.
because of the success of Creepshow.
They're like, yeah, let's do Tales from the Crypt.
Well, no, they're not doing Tales from the Crypt specifically. It's just EC Comics who happen to also publish Tales from the Crypt, but they also publish tons of other horror shit.
Yeah.
I think because of the success of Creepshow is probably why there is a Tales from the Crypt TV show, to be honest.
Yeah.
Talking about the Creepshow TV show, the newest episode, it's pretty cute. It encapsulates everything I love about Halloween, or Samhain, as we say in the old country.
Is that how they say it in Ireland?
Yeah, well, no, that's the name of the holiday. Yeah, Samhain. It's spelled like Samhain, but Samhain. It's just, like one of the big concepts is the spirits of the dead get to walk around on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I fucking love that. It's all spooky and fun. So that's addressed in one of the episodes, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is cute. I just love that. Seems like anything can happen on Halloween.
But nothing ever does.
I don't know. I've done some fun stuff on Halloween. Never really had a bad Halloween. And whatever, magic's not real or ghosts aren't real, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, magic is real.
There's something about Halloween night, probably just because of propaganda and how into it I am, but I don't know, to me, Halloween night, there feels like there's some energies Halloween night. The veil's supposed to be thin. I feel like it does feel different on Halloween night, but obviously that could just all be in my head. Or the fucking fairy folk are out and about. Gotta leave them treats so they don't get your kids. Goddamn she.
Black Phillip.
Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? Remember, she couldn't sign her name. And he's like, an X will do, you stupid goddamn cracker.
Jesus wrote words, dumbass.
Yeah, but not the uneducated Protestant rubes in colonial America. Or Puritan rubes, I guess. We will talk about Creepshow now.
We sort of did.
Now it's time to happen. The creepiest show that ever creeped is Creepshow.
Coming soon. Jolting tales of horror. Creepshow. From the author of Carrie, The Shining, and Cujo. And the creator of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. You'll scream at ghastly ghouls. Cringe at weird kids. And shiver at the doings of evil doctors. Creepshow will grab you, grow on you, and give you the creeps. Creepshow, the most fun you'll ever have being scared.
George Romero, Stephen King, fucking did it. Also, Tom Savini, major ingredient into why this movie's good too.
Practical effects.
Yeah, Tom Savini, of course, George Romero's friend who started out on Dawn of the Dead doing the practical effects, and then did every George Romero movie, his own movies, every horror movie in the 80s, anything with the monster. You know, if you don't know who Tom Savini is, then
you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Yeah, this podcast isn't for you, I don't think. Or maybe it will be once you learn about Tom Savini. And I'm happy we introduced you to Tom Savini. This is the only George Romero film to open at #1 at the box office.
That's surprising. Obviously, this is not his best film.
No, it's not.
A fun movie.
It's not Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead.
Or Return of the... Or, wait, that's the wrong one.
Land of the Dead.
No, it might be better than Land of the Dead. We'll have to ask John Leguizamo.
What's the one that's Handycam found?
Diary of the Dead?
Diary of the Dead. That one's the worst.
I never saw it. I was like one of those movies like, man, I should probably see this eventually, and then I just never did.
I saw it in theaters.
That was a mistake.
And then I was embarrassed because like I was excited about it because of George Romero, and I got like people, friends and stuff to come like, oh no, it'll be great, blah blah. And they're like, no, Land of the Dead wasn't that good, and I was like, it was all right. He was just finding his feet again, you know, whatever. And then Daddy Dead was not good. I was like, oh no. Oh well. You gotta get old and lose your skills eventually. This is also the only George Romero film where he didn't write the screenplay. So, does that have anything to do with it being number one at the box office? I mean, it is Stephen King though, so that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
The crew used for this film, you'll enjoy this because it has to do with your favorite movie of all time.
Uh-huh.
Same crew for Sleepaway Camp. Your favorite movie of all time?
I'm like, man, do we have some stories to tell you guys?
All right, and real quick, just to give more background information on EC Comics before we try to do your bullet points that you forgot.
Yeah, I don't have my bullet points with me.
EC Comics, it's technically entertainment comics. It originally started out as educational comics, but then they're like, no, entertainment's better.
Just like Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm. Is that what Doctor Who started as like an educational show?
Yeah.
About time travel?
Like history, I think.
Oh. They were an American publisher of comic books, delving into genres horror, war, fantasy, science fiction, adventure,
Western.
and others. So
Damn it.
Others is probably Western. Basically the kind of stuff L. Ron Hubbard was writing. Except for
there's two alien races.
This is where they diverged from L. Ron Hubbard, is that they were noted for their high quality and shock ending. These stories were also unique in their socially conscious, progressive themes, including racial equality, anti-war advocacy, nuclear disarmament, and environmentalism.
Also not very much like L. Ron Hubbard.
No. So this even preceded the civil rights movement and the dawn of the 1960s counterculture, because these were being printed in the 40s and the 50s.
Yeah, these are pulp. Well, tail end of pulp.
Yeah. 1954 to 55, censorship pressures prompted it to concentrate on the humor magazine Mad, leading to the company's greatest and most enduring success. Consequently, by 1956, the company ceased publishing all of its comic lines except Mad.
Comic Code.
Damn it. Yeah, the comic code kind of ruined everyone's shit back then. And like people really like Mad magazine, so I guess it's cool that they did that. But
I mean, Mad magazine, especially for back in its time, was definitely
it was very subversive. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is,
hey, they just stopped publishing it like a month ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it's because they stopped publishing it. You think it'd go on forever, like The Simpsons.
Well, it's one of those things where print.
Oh yeah, and who's picking it up anymore? Wow, print media dead. Anyhow, though, they were subversive before. Man, they were subversive before fucking Stan Lee ever even took a hit of acid.
Well, I mean, 1940, Stan Lee is what, like 15?
I don't know. When was he born? I thought he was born in like the 20s. I don't know.
I thought he was born in the late 20s or early 30s, but I don't know his exact date of birth. Who gives a shit?
Stan the Man Lee. He was like, Excelsior, I love EC Comics. The prop 10-cent Creepshow comic book featured in the film was drawn and inked by veteran artist Jack Kamen, one of the artists for the original EC crime and horror comics of the 1950s.
Did they ever release it as an actual comic book, or was it just certain pages they did?
I don't know.
It'd be cool to do as a promotion, but they may not.
Yeah, that would have been pretty easy, simple promotion they could have done. Fucking idiots. I don't know if they did.
You should have hired me from your marketing back in 1982.
That's like when Jonah Hill did mid-90s, his skateboard movie. It's a pretty good movie. If anyone hasn't seen it, you should check it out. But he did like a limited press of like a zine. You know?
A fanzine?
Yeah, and like, man, that's fucking cool. And they didn't even do that for Creepshow. I'd buy a Creepshow comic book. Read the EC comics sometimes because they have them online still. You know, there's like illegal websites where you can just read comics.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. You're a fine, upstanding citizen. Not me. Crime is beautiful. And I think a lot of them still hold up.
I mean that's true. A lot of comics you wouldn't think about. Like some of those Uncle Scrooge comics from the same time period really hold up too.
It's interesting. A lot of it's like, oh, I see where that trope or that cliche came from within the EC comics. So it's like
they are responsible for a lot of the things we consider, or at least not necessarily EC comics, but like the horror comic books responsible for a lot of the stuff we consider horror tropes.
Yeah, And yeah, so a lot of the shocking twists aren't really shocking anymore because they've been
shockingly twisted so many times.
Yeah, they've been recapitulated. But it's like, oh well, that's cool. It's nice to see where that came from. All right, this film, 5 parts plus a prologue and an epilogue. We will start with the prologue because you can't remember.
Thrill me.
You can't remember your bullet points.
No, one of them was thrill me.
Why? Because he's in it.
Yeah, he's in it.
You know who else is in that prologue and epilogue? Why, that's a young Joe Hill or Joe King. That's Stephen King's son.
Stephen King's son?
Yeah, if you take a look at him, knowing that he's Stephen King's son,
You can see it.
you can see it because he has that like way too big lower face that Stephen King has. They both got.
It's highlighted a lot in this movie.
I like that he's like, stop reading these dang old trash comic books. I will not have you use your imagination or engage with new ideas in my household. And then, of course, the classic trope of a defeated mother who's just like, well, come on, don't be so mean.
They give us a lot of interesting relationships in these vignettes.
I think Stephen King did not have a very good relationship with his father.
He didn't have a father, really.
Well, there you go. And then Raoul shows up. That's the name of the skeleton. And he's like, don't worry, man. Let me tell you a few exciting tales of adventure and horror. Tantalizing terror. Speaking of abusive fathers, during a break in filming, Stephen King took his son to McDonald's, and as a joke, Joe was made up with bruises, cuts, and scrapes. The girl at the drive-thru window called the police when she saw him.
I think that's just Stephen King was beating his son.
Mm-hmm. Be right better. You must follow in your father's footsteps and use a nom de plume, so you do not ride on my coattails, you bitch.
I don't even think Stephen King knew his son was writing.
Really?
Yeah.
He had to know a little bit, just probably not he was being published.
Yeah,
and stuff.
maybe.
And then they did a novella together that became a bland Netflix movie.
Well, again, like, Stephen King doesn't really have any good movies.
Creepshow.
Shining. That's something.
He doesn't like The Shining.
Yeah, because it's different than his novel. But, you know, sometimes the way you write things can't be filmed good.
And sometimes you make a movie and it's just so good that the book becomes irrelevant. That's what he's really mad about. He's like, damn it, it's better than my book.
It could be worse. It could be The Godfather.
The Godfather.
Most people don't even know it's a book.
That's true. I mean, the book was specifically written for it to become a screenplay and a movie, though, really. So
yeah, I guess, but it's not like he's.
That's the same thing with The Exorcist. The first actual story is called Father's Day.
I'm glad you know these because I didn't even think to write them down or look them up.
Oh, well, I actually do research, so we have stuff to talk about. This one's an original story by King, written just for the film, appearing nowhere else.
Ooh, cake. Court was watching this with me, and she fell asleep. She's like, "Did you ever get his cake?"
Yeah, he does. Where's my cake? There's 2 original stories in Creepshow, and then the other 3 are short stories that King already had.
Yeah.
This has got Ed Harris in it, and he dances. There's that's kind of one of my favorite scenes. And this one is so this scene would later go on to be perfected by Quentin Tarantino in Pulp Fiction. But there is a scene where Ed Harris and some actress I do not know the name of are dancing very whitely.
Yeah.
And
it's a super white dance.
I like that Ed Harris is clapping off beat. He's like, ooh, yeah, clap. Boom. Clap. So what is Aunt Bethany?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's one of those rich families where you're like, and you're like, you don't understand the lineage or dynamics at all because it's like an aunt, another aunt, and then a niece and
like
nephew.
A niece, and like who's the mother of that girl?
Yeah, like where's the rest of the family? But that's like always how rich families are presented most of the time, unless they're the Addams family.
Speaking of which, I watched the Addams Family movies over the last couple weeks. They hold up.
Yeah, they're
amazing.
Yeah, people like them a lot. They're critically acclaimed. The new film that's coming out, the animated Addams Family,
looks like garbage.
Yeah, nice little cash in there. That's the thing is, nothing gets made for any purpose other than profit. Now
that's the thing. Like when you watch those Addams Family movies, you can tell they actually cared about them.
Yeah, it was someone who was like
it's just the way they like Morticia.
It was someone who was like, you know what, Addams Family was cool. There hasn't been a cool Addams Family movie in a while. Let's do an Addams Family movie. And like, oh, we made money off of it. Let's do another one. So this is back in the day when we talked about it before off the podcast, and it still happens now, but not as much. Movies are made to make money a lot of the time, especially for the people that finance them. But a lot of times, movies start off as someone just wanting to make the movie, and then if it makes money, great. Nowadays, it seems like it's money first. Like, will this make money? How
I'm the Joker, baby!
Yeah. Why did that movie get made? Here's before anyone questions me about that comment, why did the Joker get made? Here's how I'll explain it to you. So everyone
explained it several times, but go ahead.
Well, no, I had it's a new thing I've thought about from like watching a shitty cam version of the Joker. So a lot of people are like, well, you can't. This is just one interpretation of the Joker. You can't compare it to other Jokers. Blah blah blah. That's fine. Joaquin does a good job. But what if?
Excuse too.
Well, no. Here's the thing about that is, so if it's not like the Joker, why does it need to be the Joker? Well, couldn't it just be this story and him not being the Joker? In that case, then it's just Taxi Driver. So why would they make another Taxi Driver? And then why did this movie get made? Oh, because they can make money off of the Joker intellectual property. And ta-da! The Joker didn't need to get made. And you don't fucking nerds on the internet who think you're part of the counterculture or some bullshit don't need to spend 2 weeks talking about the lazy ass fucking politics in it like it means something from your fucking corporate overlords eating all your fucking trash they feed you. God damn.
This podcast is really gonna take off. I can feel it.
I don't know. My whole thing is I'm tired of like all the fucking grift and garbage bullshit that people play on the internet and stuff. So that no one knows what they're talking about. They don't like put any thought into it. They're just like, oh boy, big franchise, big corporation released new big franchise movie. We need to talk about it. I need to somehow see how it aligns with my political alignment and then have branching arguments about the relevancy of this and blah, blah, blah. It's actually, this movie didn't need to get made. It was only made to make money. And people are like, well, you can tell it's art because it makes people think about it afterwards. That doesn't mean it's good art. In fact, I just watched Taxi Driver instead. The movie already exists.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Taxi Driver because there aren't any superheroes in it.
Yeah, that's Robert De Niro's not a superhero.
No.
Oh, I could see him fighting alongside Captain America. Oh, the Joker makes me so angry. Well, not the Joker specifically, but the
idea.
film industry. And the fact that people care. That's the problem, though. You can't get people to just change their attitudes. Unfortunately.
Yes, you can with a bat.
Well, you can with fucking state capitalism China. Anyhow, you notice she's out there like, damn, I killed you, you stupid son of a bitch, because you fucking stop yelling about cake.
His daughter? It's Father's Day. Where was his damn cake?
Well, the flashback is really stressful, and it's
I get it.
I was like, you know what?
I get anxious.
Yeah, it's like I'd probably kill him too. I'd had enough. I'd had enough just after that minute. I've had enough of this, man. But she's out there drinking. Well, it looks like Jack Daniels, right?
It's Jim Beam.
Jim Beam. And she accidentally spills some onto the grave, and it brings him back to life. You know, like Finnegan's Wake. You think it's right?
Ishkabala.
Well, yeah, the water of life, right? Ishkabala. Do you think that was on purpose?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. It's Stephen King, man.
Timmy boy, see how he rises. His name wasn't Tim, though, was it? It was like Alex.
He rises from the grave. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
no, I mean in Father's Day. Tim Finnegan's obviously Tim Finnegan, but I mean, his name was like Alex or something.
Was it Alex in the movie?
I thought so. Yeah, Alexander Grantham. They shouldn't.
Again, I don't remember any of
his
names.
Name should have been Tim or Finn
or James
Joyce. They should have named him Finn Tim again. Finn Tim again. James Joyce, man, he just heard that street ballad and turned it into a really weird book. He's a genius.
Now, here's a 5-page summary of a story he wrote about someone shitting on a toilet.
Yeah. James Joyce. He's just having a good time. His letters to his wife and stuff are great. He was really into farts and
he's a fucking weirdo.
This marble ashtray that's used for murder. It appears in every story in this movie. Did you notice?
I didn't notice.
Didn't keep her out for the old marble ashtray?
I did not.
Well, I stole from IMDb.
I noticed it in the Leslie Nielsen one, but not anywhere else.
I stole from IMDb the list of where it shows up. Oh. So in part 2, It'll be next to the cash box at the Department of Meteors. You know, when he has delusions of going to see science men. Third one, yeah, it's on the nightstand next to Leslie Nielsen. Fourth one, it is on the writing desk when Henry writes his letter to his wife, Adrienne Barbeau. And then in the Spooky Roach one, the soap dish when Upton Pratt is washing his hands. So it's just, for some reason, he uses marble ashtray as a soap dish.
He's an eccentric old asshole.
Yeah, and it's also on Billy's desk in the framing story, the prologue and epilogue.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice it.
Because Billy smokes cigarettes.
Yeah. He's got to be a man like his father.
Thrill me. Father's Day is just kind of like a slasher movie, really. But a zombie slasher. He murders everyone. Oh, you don't see him murder the two youngest, but...
No, he's going to feed him cake.
Yeah, he's like, Happy Father's Day!
Here's my cake.
And then
Have a slice.
He's got a cool voice.
Why did I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I like the husband, boyfriend dude.
Ed Harris?
Ed Harris, yeah. I don't remember his name. I think Pete? We'll go with Pete.
I
He feels like a Pete. He lays in that grave and lets his face get smashed in so easily.
Yeah, he just sits there and watches it happen. You think he'd be like, oh, the tombstone moved.
I should probably get up.
I will sit up now. Also, the zombie Grantham old man has telekinesis powers because he moves the tombstone with his mind.
I assumed it was he had his. I don't think he had his arms in that scene, did he? I assumed his arms were still.
No, he had his arms. He's like, put his arms up to do like Magneto poses. Just like you, fellow internet dweller, my only frame of reference for anything is comic books or professional wrestling.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all there is to say about Father's Day. I like it. I think it's a good jumping. It's like the best story to start it off.
Yeah, it's just basically like saying, "Hey, this is gonna be you're in for some weird shit."
Yeah, like this is what we're gonna present to you. Some creepy crawly nonsense. Hope you enjoy. Zombie looks really cool. He's got Rice Krispies all over him. Sometimes it's maggots on close-up shots, but other times it looks like it's just Rice Krispies that they throw him.
Because the guy doesn't necessarily want to walk around in a maggot suit.
Yeah, probably not. But maggots are good. They eat infections, right? Infected tissue.
Sometimes they eat living tissue. It depends on what kind of maggot.
Oh. I would be like, get me the good maggots.
Not the bad maggots.
Only good maggots, please. Like the X-Men character Maggot and his two good maggots.
But it's not a good character. If you like Maggot and he is a favorite X-Men character of yours, I don't want to talk to you.
I thought he had a cool character design back when I was 11.
Yeah.
Whenever Operation Zero Tolerance was.
He's got a blue trench coat. He's got light blue skin. He's got two maggots. It's got a good design. I'm pretty sure he's British. That's why I did the accent.
Eyes, white mohawk thing.
He has spooky eyes. It's just
big.
red.
He's big trench coat man, and maggots came out. And I don't know what they did.
I think he just controlled them with his mind. I don't know. He was a dumb character.
Yeah.
I feel very secure in saying he's a dumb character.
What about Marrow? She pulled bones
I like
out
Marrow.
and stuff. Marrow was cool. She was a Murloc.
I like the Murlocs though.
Yeah.
Murlocs. Man, it's been so long since I read the X-Men character.
That's the World of Warcraft Murloc or Warcraft Murloc. Whatever, man. Fucking part
Morlock.
Warlock.
Morlock.
Oh, Morlock and Murloc.
Yeah, you've confused your World of Warcraft with your X-Men.
I mean, they sound the same though. They're homonyms. Whatever. We're on to the second story because there's not much to say about Father's Day. Except for Ed Harris is in it. This is The Lonesome Death of Geordie Verrill.
Now you're also in this film, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a scene of you in?
There I am.
Yeah, here you are. What something has gone wrong here.
Well, actually, what went wrong was when my agent said yes. No, I play a guy named Geordie Verrill in this story, and Geordie's not terribly bright. I guess maybe George saw it as typecasting, you know. He would make Lenny and Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men look like Einstein in comparison. A meteor lands on his property, and it's full of this sort of super seed that starts to grow all over his yard and his cars and his house, and finally it starts to grow all over him. And in the picture you showed, he's just realized that he started to get green.
Based on Stephen King's short story, Weeds. Have you read Weeds?
No, I don't want Weeds. I don't know. Do you know what volume it appears in?
This probably appears in when he was writing horror stories in pornographic magazines. The old days. The all or nothing.
So that's
days.
like basically late 70s up until the early 90s, I think.
Up until Creepshow 2. This story is about a fucking the dumbest farmer of all time. A meteor crashes in his backyard. The stage direction that Romero gave Stephen King was to act like Wile E. Coyote.
I want to talk a little bit because obviously we have two movies where Stephen King has contributed heavily to the story and one of the directing. This movie is way better than Maximum Overdrive.
Well,
the characters are better.
George Romero.
The dialogue is better, but you know what I mean? Like the writing's just better too.
Yeah, I mean, so Stephen King gets sole credit on the writing, but it was originally like a 210-page screenplay, and that is not what they used for the shooting script. Yeah. So I think Romero actually had quite a bit to do with the writing,
editing wise.
Because this Stephen King is still like a drugged out weirdo in this period. So I think George Romero did have to do quite a bit of wrangling.
That would
Secret ingredient is George Romero.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with Stephen King is I feel like he needs an editor.
Oh, everyone always brings up the group sex scene in It.
Yeah, that's a weird one. But
like, it's weird, but it like makes sense within the story. But it's just like Stephen King just writes whatever he feels like, huh? This one has my favorite line. Well, maybe not my absolute favorite, but pretty close in it. Is when he breaks open the meteor and he like puts in his bucket and then he's like, meteor shit.
That's what the meteor shit like.
Wipes it all over himself. Basically, whatever this meteor is, it's got some special magic goo that makes everything grow.
I know, it makes everything ganja.
Oh, it was turning into weed, huh?
It did look like weed to me.
Yeah. I love how vibrant they made everything look, though. It's so green, and they have green lights everywhere.
It's so lush.
Ooh, it looks so good. Makes me want to run through it and get contaminated with weeds.
Turn into a swamp thing.
Yeah. Good old swamp thing. The only other actor in this segment is the meteor guy he sees in like his fantasies because he thinks he's gonna get 200 fucking big ones
for this meteor. He's got to go down to the college and knock on the Department of Meteor door.
Yeah, and I wonder how much science will pay for this. And he's like, "I'll give you $50." And he's like, "No, nothing less than 200." But that other actor's name is Bingo O'Malley, which I just wanted to bring up because what a name. Bingo O'Malley. I wish my name was Bingo O'Malley.
I'm pretty sure he worked as a blackjack dealer and like for the Irish mob.
That does seem like a 1930s like.
Yeah,
Irish
he works at this fucking speakeasy.
Yeah. Hey, Bingo O'Malley.
Oh, jeez, boss, what you doing here today?
My family's from Wexford. This one's really funny. Like, just because I think Stephen King actually does a really good job for what he's supposed to be doing. Because normally Stephen King is just like, I'm Stephen King, but it's funny to see Stephen King play an idiot. And the makeup effects are really good, of course. I like the scene where his dad's ghost appears in the mirror. Mm-hmm. I really like the way it looks, but then also his dad just be like, hey, you fucking idiot, don't get in the bath.
You're covered in plants, moron. Plants love water.
Yeah, but he does because the water looks so tantalizing.
It's taking over his brains.
Mm-hmm. Like the close-ups they do of the water, they put like some shit in there because it has like a skin and like a sheen to it.
Yeah, it's like sparkly.
Yeah, it does look. I was like, man, I'll swim in that. Check that out. So he gets it anyways, and the next time we see him, he looks like Swamp Thing, and he's got to shoot his own head off.
I was thinking that he would still be alive if he shot his head because he's all plant now.
Yeah, and then it just grow back. Maybe his brain grows back.
Yeah, I was expecting another scene right after that where it cuts back and his head is regrown or some shit.
Mm-hmm. But instead, you get the shocking twist where they're talking about nearby towns and shit.
It's gonna be green everywhere.
Yep, and you see that it is just growing everywhere. It's fucking getting out there. And so that's the end of the world is the opposite of climate change. Instead of everything turning to washed out desert, it'll be lush. The earth will reclaim everything, just like in The Happening with Mark Wahlberg. The third story.
And the most terrifying one.
Probably, I
got anxious.
Yeah, I like the crate the most, but this is number 2 for sure. It's called Something to Tide You Over. This is an original story for the film, technically, but it's almost identical to Stephen King's short story, The Ledge. So he just changed it up a little bit. It's got
Stephen King, you hack.
Got Leslie Nielsen in it. He wears a leisure suit for part of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool leisure suit.
So leisure suit Leslie. Apparently on set, he's all business. A lot of people don't know this at this point.
He's a serious actor.
Yeah, before he hooked up with Abrams and the Zucker brothers, which we talked about on Airplane, I think, ages ago. He was like a real serious actor. And then he just happened to be a funny guy in real life and started doing funny stuff. On set of this film, he was very serious when they're doing the acting stuff because, you know, he's an actor. But he also had a fart machine on set and he'd do fart machine jokes.
Man, I love Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, like to break up the monotony. Like when they're doing a lot of takes, he'd like mess up Ted Danson's takes.
Ted, damn it.
Like, fuck, Ted Danson.
Ted had beans for lunch.
Yeah, and then Ted Danson's our co-star. He may work in TV, but he can bench press 300 pounds, which I don't believe. Ted Danson's a little kind of.
He played professional baseball.
No, that's just in Cheers, right?
Yeah, well, that's not a true story.
Oh, I forgot Cheers is his biography. He plays Ted Danson in Cheers. Ted Danson is cool though. I've always liked Ted Danson. I don't know though. Is he like secretly one of those guys who grew up to be a weird conservative?
No, he's still liberal as far as I know.
Oh,
I mean, very Hollywood liberal, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's good enough. And then the only other actor in it really is Galen Ross, who was in Dawn of the Dead, but she's actually a documentarian. She's got a lot of credits for directing documentaries.
Documentarian.
And her name kind of looks like Jalen Rose from the Fab Five. You remember the Fab Five?
I remember Jalen Rose.
Jalen Rose, he's still talking about basketball.
He's on the NBA's doing halftime shows and shit.
Yeah, he played on the Nuggets and didn't ever do very much.
That's a lot of the Fab Five didn't really do much.
Chris Webber
didn't really do much.
Juwan Howard has a fucking NBA championship ring just by being on the bench for the Miami Heat.
I think Chris Webber is the most successful out of them.
Yeah, for sure. Remember when he did the timeout thing in like the NCAA tournament and like that everyone thought it was gonna ruin his career forever? But then he was Chris Webber.
Yeah.
He got drafted to the Warriors though, huh?
I remember being on the Warriors.
That was
Latrell Sprewell.
So that was probably like for him. He was like, "Oh, I guess I'm not going to make it in the NBA," because the Warriors were bad back then.
Well, then he played for the Kings for a long ass time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did, and the Kings were good then.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah. Jalen Rose didn't ever do too much, so I guess Juwan Howard technically the most successful, but that's like when you're. I don't know. Hannibal Buress has a joke where he's like, "Yeah, I got an Emmy for 30 Rock, but that's like I have an Emmy the same way Juwan Howard has a NBA championship." He was just kind of there. Anyhow, this is a story of revenge, and then more revenge, cycle revenge.
There's a lot of revenge.
This is Leslie Nielsen, eh?
It's Leslie Nielsen and Ted Danson, who was in Body Heat and the Choir Boys. He's the one that's just sticking up here. Mm-hmm. Leslie plays a Hollywood producer who catches his wife cheating and takes his wife and the lover and buries them in the sand below the high tide line, and then videotapes the proceedings. Mm-hmm.
So Ted Danson is cheating or is sleeping with...
He's not cheating. He's just helping somebody cheat.
Yeah, he's sleeping with Leslie Nielsen's wife.
He's a real... What was the guy's name from... Damn, I can't remember the name of the movie now either.
Caligula.
No, with... fuck it. I can't remember shit now.
You didn't give any detail.
I know. I'm getting dementia.
What's the name of that movie with
Bob's in it.
Fucking Unicrons in it. All right. Leslie Nielsen's like a powerful movie producer, so he don't play no games.
Possession.
Oh, Possession. Yeah, Bob. Kill yourself, Bob.
It's the same situation we got in Possession, except there's no Bob.
Yeah.
And there's no demon. And like the woman apparently is like completely sane and isn't on drugs or anything.
No, it's just Leslie Nielsen might be a little bit crazy.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's the crazy one.
I like it because
instead of abandoning a shot and going on a 3-week bender, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna murder 2 people.
Yeah, I'll kill him. Well, I like that because he's supposed to be like an old school movie producer, and That's what's crazy about like the old school movie days, like up until like the 90s.
They were all gangsters.
Yeah, like the producers and directors and writers and stuff. A lot of these dudes were fucking crazy. Like they were, yeah, I'll just pull a gun. You don't give a fuck. That's even like Martin Scorsese when he wasn't gonna get Taxi Driver released. The inspiration for Joker, by the way.
That and the King of Comedy.
Because the censorship board at the time, it was too violent at the end. Before he decided to make it black and white, skirt around it, he's like,
I'm gonna fucking kill these guys.
Yeah, well, no, what if I just kill the one lady that wouldn't pass it through? I could just kill her. He stayed up all night doing cocaine. He was like,
I was gonna say,
I'd kill her.
In the 70s, there's a lot of cocaine going around, and when you're on cocaine, anything seems like a good idea.
Yeah, so that's technically an unverified story. Scorsese never said it himself.
Well, it doesn't seem like something.
It's just kind of something that's gotten passed around among the film world, but I think it's cool.
Like the gerbil incident.
That was a little bit weird. I could see little Martin Scorsese being like, "Yeah, I'm not a shooter. Fucking cocaine, I'll shoot her." Not only is he gonna kill him, he's gonna bury him and then drown him.
Yeah, well, he's gonna torture him basically,
and they get to watch each other too.
It's some real psychological torture he's got going.
Mm-hmm. He's very sinister in it, but friendly because it's Leslie Nielsen.
So, he's charismatic. What do you want from me?
You're like, well, I guess I will get in the hole.
Yeah, man, there's no way I'm getting that hole.
The whole thing, when I watched this segment, the whole time I'm like, all right, he's evil. I'm not supposed to like him. But
damn, is he compelling?
Yeah, I'm like, well, I get it. Come on, man, you can do it. Like, you're rooting for Leslie Nielsen a little bit. You're like, I sure hope his plan works.
He's a real Thanos or Joker type character, if you will.
Yeah, he's just a victim of society. Unfortunately, though, this is the Creepshow, and Leslie Nielsen does not succeed. Well, he succeeds to a certain extent, but Ted Danson and Galen Ross come back as water zombies.
I mean, just you got anxious, right? The idea of being buried up to your head and then having the tide come in.
Before even the tide came in part, I was just like, I've been buried a little bit.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to breathe because he wants it all.
That's what I was thinking about. Like when we were kids and we used to go to the beach and we would take turns burying each other, and like you could not get out of it unless someone helped you out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the weight's all around you. And you have to take shallow breaths because you only have enough space for like your lungs to expand. Yeah, so thinking about that is what bothered me the most. And then I was like, the sweet release of salt water. Or maybe that crab will come and kill me.
Someone give that crab a knife.
And then you think like when the water comes in, do you think you'd be able to wiggle out a little bit? But it kind of becomes more cement-like when the water.
No, at that point it's just like quicksand.
Yeah. I'd probably give it a shot, but then
I would try.
Probably make it worse. But they do come back as seaweed zombies, and
they're a cake. Oh wait, no.
You can't kill us with a gun. That's the thing I like about it. Leslie Nielsen, the whole movie is like, well, I have a gun.
Who needs courage when you have a gun?
Yeah, he's like, well, hop in the hole or I'm gonna shoot you. And he's like, well, that's compelling. And he's like, start burying yourself.
I'm gonna take the shot.
Start burying yourself. At that point, it's like, and Ted Danson's like, well, just fucking shoot me then.
Yeah, man.
And he convinces him. It's like, oh, I just want to incapacitate you, blah, blah,
blah. Why?
I don't, yeah.
Ted Danson, think it through.
Well, he does have a gun, so should probably listen to him. Usually guys with guns are smart.
Pew, 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 bang, bang, pew, pew, pew.
That's my favorite Donald Trump clip. This one. I love guns.
Pew, 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 pew. My favorite when he's in the truck, he's like, I love trucks, Hong Kong.
Is that real?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Does he actually do an air horn?
He does. I don't know if he does the sound, but he does the motion for the air horn.
He's like, fucking want him to shit his pants on stage so bad.
I mean, there's still got time. There's at least 6-7 months before he's impeached. It's going to happen. He's going to shit himself.
I hope so.
Just believe.
That's all I've wanted for like the last year or two.
That's all we got left.
Like
that's all the only comedy he has left to give me is if he shits himself. Nothing else he does is funny anymore.
I'm so fucking tired of him, and I'm tired of like, oh, Cheeto guy bad, we gotta get him, and then nothing happens. I'm like, fucking just shit your pants already, goddammit.
Or vomit on somebody.
Do something weird. I did like when he hugged the flag that one time.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, anyways, Leslie Nielsen gets got by the zombies, I guess. They don't really show it. So, but I'm guessing they probably like Ted Danson forces his zombie hand up through Leslie Nielsen's keister and turns him into a puppet.
Why? We don't know, but it looks funny.
Actually, they bury him. They give him the same death.
I thought they just drug him out into the sea.
No, because the last scene is his head in the sand, and he's like, ah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and he's like, oh, I can hold my breath. I'm calm. Look at these hands.
Yeah, you can hold your breath for like ever, and then he does because he dies. Never breathes again.
This is actually the longest of all the stories. It's called The Crate, and it runs about, I guess, maybe 45 minutes or so. And it's about a janitor and a couple of faculty members who are played by Hal Holbrook and Fritz Weaver, who find a thing under the stairs.
Boom, bap, bat, bat, boom, bap. Next one's The Crate. This is my favorite one.
Some Sacha Baron Cohen shit right there.
Mm-hmm. Booyakasha. The Crate, this is my favorite one. This is based on Stephen King's short story, The Crate. If you can believe it. This is Hal Holbrook is our, I guess he's kind of the star, a little bit. He's the biggest name in it. Kind of, actually. I don't know, it's Hal Holbrook. He's still alive, and he's like 96 or some shit. He's been in everything. He was acting, his most recent acting credit was just last year.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, so, and there was a lot for 2017, and he's out here.
You're a real Kevin Sorbo type.
And he's got a compatriot in this film named Fritz Weaver, who's also another guy that's been around forever and been in a lot of things. Both of them together, though, are the Twilight Zone boys. Fritz Weaver appeared in 4 episodes of Twilight Zone. Hal Holbrook appeared in 3.
Oh, take that, Hal.
Yeah, Fritz Weaver more of a Twilight Zone boy than you are. And then, of course, who's that? It's
Wait.
It.
Have either of them been in the new Twilight Zone? Or are they both... Well, obviously one's still alive.
I think Fritz Weaver's dead.
Damn.
And Hal Holbrook has not been in it. Also,
Jordan Peele, what you doing?
I could have sworn the new Twilight Zone everyone thought was a joke.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything is bad.
Is it bad?
Yeah, I mean...
That's disappointing.
What are you going to do with CBS, right?
Make a good Twilight Zone show?
Fucking ridiculous.
Isn't that Star Trek show supposed to be good?
No. All I hear is people complain about it, but that's Star Trek fans. They complain about Star Trek a lot, right?
Well, the problem is, like, Star Trek's been around for so long, and there's been so many different versions of Star Trek that, you got some fans who are like, I'm a fan of The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got some fans who are like, I'm a fan of Deep Space Nine. And you got some people who are like, I like the J.J. Abrams ones. And those are the worst.
I think probably the people that like the new show are probably people like the J.J. Abrams show movies because it's all action-y and stuff, which is like not Star Trek's thing.
Slow and contemplative.
I think Star Trek fans like Seth MacFarlane's Star Trek comedy more than they like the new Star Trek. The Orville.
Oh, yeah, I haven't watched it either.
I watched one episode and I was like, okay.
He's like, yeah, I like Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need to watch this again. Anyhow, enough about that jerk Seth MacFarlane. Adrienne Barbeau's in this movie.
Adrienne Barbeau!
She plays Wilma / Billy. She was married to John Carpenter when Creepshow was released. Everyone knows Adrienne Barbeau, though. She's in tons of movies in the 80s. A lot of movies in the 90s. Still acting today. But perhaps what she's most famous for is playing Catwoman in Batman the Animated Series. I would assume, right?
I would assume so.
I don't know. Adrienne Barbeau.
That's Mark Hamill's still the best Joker, right?
Mark Hamilton. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing is people complaining about Jared Leto's Joker. Someone the other day, like, yeah, whatever, it's bad. But I can see what they're trying to do. Someone was like, Joker would never have a criminal enterprise and just be some gangster. The Joker is a gangster, you dummies. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's always been a gangster. Shit. People are fucking
he's
dumb.
like a Dick Tracy villain, because Batman is kind of like a Dick Tracy superhero.
All of Batman's early villains are gangsters.
Yeah.
And nothing's really changed. He's got a gang. You notice he's always got a gang? Anyhow, Adrienne Barbeau plays Billy, who's, the movie starts off at a very hoity-toity, boring party, and she's having a good time. I'm like, hell yeah. Like, they just don't like her because she knows how to have a good time. But she is really, like, grinding the shit out of Hal Holbrook, her husband.
Yeah, I mean, she's a
little bit too
busted his balls, I think is what it is.
A little too overbearing.
It's almost like a reverse of the prologue relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where Hal Holbrook's completely defeated, and she's just, like, emotionally abusive to him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she belittled, like, she it is like emotional abuse because she has like that psychological thing where she's like, "Oh, what would you do without me?" After completely just
destroying him.
castrating.
You're so tiny and small.
Yeah, but she's fun though.
Stupid.
I like her. I would definitely hang out with her at that party though.
She's the only interesting person.
Yeah,
there,
everyone
but-
else is like, "Oh, we're trash."
I shouldn't say that. Her husband might be interesting, but she gives him no
I mean,
opportunity.
he didn't ever speak, so we don't know. He only talked to his gay lover. I feel like there's some sexual tension between those two. Hal Holbrook and Fritz
I
Vito.
mean, maybe.
Well, he's like,
They were probably in World War II,
"Are
WW2
you gonna
together.
be able
you know what I mean?
to play chess tonight?" I know we said we wouldn't play as much chess. And
Plus,
there's-
he sees him like trying to like hook up with some young lady.
and he's like, I think,
He's like, I thought you were going to put it in my pocket tonight.
I think it's there. I mean, I say good for them because she doesn't seem like a very good wife.
I mean, it's not as out there as it is in, say, the Ghoulies, but I think you might be right.
What? No, those two dudes in the Ghoulies were totally like in love with each other. And these two guys are totally in love with each other too. It's just society at the time would not allow that to be possible. And society at the time now is also trying really hard not to make that possible again.
I think society, by and
Consistently.
large, is saying it's okay, but there's a subset of
Oh yeah,
of minorities.
You mean
But-
the state is telling us?
Yeah.
There's a line in this film where Adrian Barbeau, Billy's like Van Sporenson or whatever that etiquette crotch lady's name is, but the crotch part is clearly overdubbed and doesn't seem like an insult. I think originally she said cunt,
Oh,
but that's not a nice thing to say on the movie.
this movie is R, right?
Yeah.
So why can't they just say the C word?
A lot of people in America do not like the C word.
No, I've met my mother.
Yes, she does not like it. She can never go to England or Australia because they'll be like, "Oh, I can't." Actually, I don't think they would say that to our
I don't
mom.
even randomly yell at my mom.
No, but like she'd be at dinner and like some bloke would see his friends and they would stand up and hug each other and be like, "Ah, you cunt." And she's like, "Oh Lord." They use the C word here. Oh heavens! I actually wouldn't say that. She'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, my mom. Well, mom's curses like a sailor. It's just that she
it's
finds
just-
it like derogatory towards women,
Right.
which I guess I understand.
I mean,
in,
it
like,
is,
American
yeah.
culture.
In American culture, it totally is. But I don't know. It's a fun word, though.
Yeah, I guess.
I would
Lots
never.
of words might be fun.
Oh, I would never use it.
Shifferobe's a fun word, but no one really throws it around like they should.
Shifferobe. I would never use it like derogatorily towards a woman or anything like that. But I do think the playful banter nature in England and Australia is cute. The real star of this film, though, is Fluffy.
The water alien wolf ape.
He's like a little, dwarf werewolf ape monster man. His name is Fluffy. Apparently all the monsters in this movie have names, but the only ones we know are Raoul for the skeleton guy and Fluffy for this man. This is the first fully animatronic creature Tom Savini had created. Because of that, he contacted fellow special effects artist Rob Bottin for advice on how to do it.
Oh, I think I say Jim Henson for a second.
No. Rob Bottin, famously, he did the special effects for The Thing, The Howling, and Total Recall.
Total Recall.
So that's cool. Bring up John Carpenter again. So far we got
Two
Adrian
John
Barbeau,
Carpenters.
The Thing. And here's another reference to The
The
Thing.
John Carpenter hat trick. Here we go.
The crate, when it's discovered, has shipped to Julie Carpenter from Arctic Expedition written on it. So a reference to The Thing, perhaps?
Is this the thing?
No, well, this is The Thing's true form. A cute little werewolf.
Cute relative, but yeah.
Well, all the novelty practical effects from like 80s horror movies are all like kind of cute to me now. Especially because Fluffy's become like a pop culture icon, sort of, or cult.
Yeah, cult pop.
Cult,
Cult
yeah.
pop. Cult culture?
Become a cult figure in his own right, or it's like, oh yeah, Fluffy, what a hero. He's just hungry, and then he goes back under
Really
the stairs
hungry.
because he felt safe, and you're like, oh.
He's been under there for 100 years. He needs to eat 3, maybe 4 bodies.
Yeah, so he eats janitor, some student who kind of looks like Paul Giamatti. Hal Holbrook has had enough of his goddamn wife.
Yeah. Well, he's
So-
been imagining
killing her.
her for quite some time.
Yeah, the short little fantasies where he chokes her to death or shoots. I like when he shoots her at the party.
Because everyone's
And
like,
then-
good show, sir.
Everyone golf claps.
Quite the aim.
But now he sees his opportunity. Now this is like he can get off scot free with this, right? You know. So he lures her to the university. He alludes to the fact that his friend has murdered a underage girl.
Not necessarily murder, but perhaps raped, sexually molested
Yeah.
for sure.
Something went wrong with one of his students. Or...
Something went wrong with one of his sexual assault attempts.
Yeah. And she's of course like
She's like, oh, I always knew that motherfucker was out there.
She's like, well, only I can handle this sort of thing.
Not only is she like, not only can I handle this, but I'm into it. Like I'm gonna use this. I love every minute of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get a drink for the ride.
Well, you saw how boring that party was, right? That's like their everyday lifestyle, I'm sure. So this probably is the most exciting thing that's happened to her in 15 years.
You know, I gotta be honest. Like the party wasn't that exciting, but my normal life isn't that exciting. So who am I to judge?
Yeah, but she seems to love the excitement.
Who
loves
doesn't
the
love
thrill.
excitement?
That's
Everyone
right.
loves excitement.
Yeah, so imagine your colleague from Anytown University is like, I accidentally murdered a girl. I need some help with the monster or whatever. You'd be like, fuck yeah. Let's do this. Let's see if we can get away with cream.
I mean, that must foul.
Yeah, but like I said, it's all ruse. She gets monster eaten. Oh, man.
You definitely consider that a murder.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm like murder by proxy. Well, he planned out all the...
Yeah, that's first degree murder.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, you can't help that a lion eats meat. Lion's gotta hunt. Yes, the little werewolf guy gets her. At that point, though, they're basically like, all right, problem solved. We just gotta get rid of this monster now.
Let's throw him in a ravine.
Well, they throw him into like
Quarry.
a quarry, right? Because that's where they're always like, what's it called? Like sloosh or whatever?
Sluice.
Yeah, the stuff that comes out of mines.
Runoff.
Yeah. Which is like fucking toxic and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of heavy metals and water.
They fucking swim in the quarry and Stranger Things and shit. Were kids really swimming in quarries just dying all the time?
Well, not all not all those are toxic. It just depends on what kind of mine it is.
Oh.
But I mean, generally speaking, the kind of shit that they use to mine, especially these days, the runoff is going to be toxic.
Yeah. Okay. That's why the kids had magic powers or whatever. That's why
it's all one hallucination of Will. He actually had a stroke on the way back on his bike.
It didn't happen either. Pennywise isn't real. They all just had fucking radiation poisoning. Yeah, it seems to work though. We see Fluffy's in the crate, and he's like, "Well, I guess I live here for now."
He escapes the crate in the water at the end. That's the twist. The twist.
Shocking twist.
The two old men have a weird conversation at the end where they're like, kind of not. Seems like they're filling each other out.
Well, yeah, to make sure if like, so we still gonna fuck or what?
We're still gonna fuck, but then I think I might try to murder me.
Yeah, they're like, well, the problem is though,
is this gonna escape and kill everyone? I don't know.
they don't have the murder weapon in possession anymore.
Yeah.
They're gonna do regular murders now after you've done monster murders.
Well, you just gotta throw a dude in the quarry, and
Hopefully
takes its course.
Hopefully, a monster comes out. Yeah, but the monster's probably just gonna run around like making trouble now,
doing hijinks and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like eating kids and shit, but it's not like the monsters seem like indestructible or anything either. Like eventually they'll probably just get shot by the cops.
I mean, he gets hit by a wrench and doesn't seem to react to other than to eat the man that hit him.
Yeah, but he gets hit in like the shoulder.
I thought he hit him in the brain.
I'd get hit in the shoulder with the wrench and be like, "Sir, I must eat you now."
That's your reaction?
Yeah. Sometimes. Well, sometimes I've been in fights where,
like, I'm gonna fucking eat you.
No, but like you really are starting, what I mean, the adrenaline's
yeah,
up
you're
and
like, fuck you.
I will be like, man, I'm gonna rip this motherfucker's ear off. And then be like, oh no, wait a minute.
I'm not Mike Tyson.
Yeah. No, I don't mean bite off. You can like tear someone's ear off.
I'm familiar with how to tear
Yeah,
it.
sometimes
They're just hanging off there.
Yeah, I just fucking tear his ear off. Then he'll never forget me and fucking piss on him.
In the ear hole.
Like an animal. Now we get to the fifth story.
I'm gonna rip his ear off.
It's called They're Creeping Up on You. This is original for the film.
That's E.G. Marshall, who's in a a story called They're Creeping Up on You. It's about bugs. It's about cockroaches. He has a, as a matter of fact, he has a New York apartment and he's caught in a blackout. And we went to Costa Rica and we got 4,000 giant cockroaches.
That stars E.G. Marshall, who is another man who's been in everything, but most famously, he is juror number 4, one of 12 Angry Men. Yeah,
that's a good movie.
Yep, everyone was forced to watch it in high school, I think. But it's,
probably not anymore.
Oh, it's a really good movie.
And or maybe they're watching the remake.
Oh, the TV show made for TV one.
Gross.
Lame. Unfortunately, I do not like this story very much. I think it should have ended on the crate.
You didn't like this one?
No,
I don't like seeing the bougie man.
It's just like not as entertaining as the other ones. I feel like it really like kills the pace of the movie.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. There's a couple bits I like especially like when he's on the phone with the widow of his business rival.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, ah.
Well, he's a little bit of a Ebenezer Scrooge figure.
Yeah, but he seems to enjoy it more than I think Ebenezer did. Like Ebenezer kind of was just a dick because he thought it was good for the bottom line. This guy seems to really like it.
A sadist, if you will.
Yeah.
George Romero had said that the cockroaches were the most expensive part of the movie. The cockroaches cost 50 cents a piece, and they used more than 250,000 of them.
Jesus,
a grand total of $125,000 on roaches. Also, Stephen King and George Romero said that if this story had proven to be too difficult and ambitious to film, it would have been substituted with Stephen King's short story, The Hitchhiker, which ended up being the final story of Creepshow 2. And it's better than this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember The Hitchhiker. I remember liking it.
Yep. I don't have too much to say about this one because it's really boring to me. I like when the roaches erupt out of him. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. There's not really much to talk about.
Oh, and I like when you see the blackout coming.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, that's the Bay Area, right? Right now?
Most of California.
Yeah.
That part freaked me out a little bit when the roaches start exploding on it everywhere and then it goes completely dark. That would freak me out.
Yeah, I guess that's the big thing about it too, is I'm not scared of roaches at all. So I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not really scared of them, but that would, like, if they're coming out everywhere and it goes pitch black all of a sudden, that. I also like the visual aspect of the doorbell when like the doorman comes to talk to him.
Being mean to him.
He's mean to everybody.
Being mean to him. Yeah, he's just a dick, and he gets what he deserves, just like all rich, bougie motherfuckers will get.
I don't know if that's true.
Eventually, it has to happen, right?
I mean, he seemed to have lived a long, long life before the roaches got to him.
Oh, yeah. Not Jeff Bezos, though. We'll get him. Jeff Bezos, you'll get yours. I'll see you on Mars, motherfucker. Then we switch to the epilogue. And who do we see? Well, if it isn't old Tom Savini playing a garbage man. He's looking through the garbage because he loves comic books. And they're like, oh, you get the x-ray specs. Like, nah, it's a gag. And
he's like, someone already bought the voodoo dolls.
Because they were psyched for the voodoo doll. They're like, man, we get a voodoo doll. Oh, damn. What I like about it is we find out Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, but Dickhead's son in the movie, he's got the voodoo doll. And because of the way the prologue and epilogue are set up, it alludes to the fact that Raul, the skeleton man from Creepshow, he showed up to deliver the voodoo doll. He's like, hey, we got your proof of purchase, your 1995, so here's your voodoo doll.
This is why shipping and handling costs $5.95.
Yeah, because
he is the shipping and handling.
Yeah, it's obviously the next day, right? Because his dad threw away the comic. It's on top, blah, blah, blah. So he got that voodoo doll last night from Raul. Raul was like a UPS guy, but specifically for Creepshow.
That's how Amazon's going to do it. They're going to deliver by ghoul and spook them.
I like in the prologue when his piece of shit dad is like, that's my God-made father's, babe. That's my God-made father's. As he drinks his shitty foamy beer. I wanted to slap him. That shit's so... Yeah, God made fathers. No, God made cum machine. Society determined that there's cultural significance with fathers. God didn't make shit. Fucking cast me as the Joker. I have important things to say about society. Anyhow, which segment did you like the best?
I think I like the Leslie Nielsen segment the best.
Yeah, that one's a real close number 2. I like the crate the most.
The crate.
Because Fluffy's cool and Adrienne Barbeau's interesting. It's got like the funnest acting. And I like the little cuts to Hal Holbrook imagining killing his wife. Because, I just love casual misogyny and art.
That's why we're watching so many 80s movies.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that wasn't a joke. That's the truth. Yeah, I love Creepshow. I love Creepshow TV show. I love Creepshow 2.
Oh, George Romero.
George Romero's great. Stephen King's great. I need to read more Stephen King because I've read it and the book you gave me about how to write like Stephen King.
Oh, on writing?
And not much else, I don't think.
I think Mom 11/22/63, so that's somewhere in the house.
What's that one about?
That's that one's not really scary. That one is the where he goes back in time to try to stop the Kennedy assassination.
What
It's
for?
good, though.
Why would you want to stop the Kennedy assassination?
Yeah, just because you can.
Oh, okay.
That's really basically what it is.
I have the
Yeah,
power.
you probably can.
I have the power to. Why not? Yeah, well, that's it. That's it for the Creep Show. We had a good time creeping on the Creep Show.
Oh, the Creep Show's over here.
We had a Creep Show. We were VHS cult doing a Creep Show. We were creeping around, showing you things.
Oh, here I am, showing and creeping and showing.
That's kind of like Creep Show is like a flasher. I'm a creep and I'm a show.
Wow.
It's the Creep Show.
Whenever I think Flash, I always think of Gremlins 2.
All right, fucking next week we are watching.
That's not a movie.
Shit. Watching Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
No, my God, that's the one that's not about Michael Myers, right?
That's right, because everyone's tired of Michael Myers, except for they weren't. Just John Carpenter was. And then it came out and everyone's like, where's Michael Myers? And the Halloween anthology series never took off.
Too bad.
It just became Michael Myers show. And they just keep making them. Oh boy. Oh boy. Actually, yeah, I really like Season of the Witch. It's kind of getting a resurgence recently where people are like, oh no, it's actually pretty cute.
Pretty cute.
Yeah, it's not like a great movie,
Yeah.
but you know, it's fun. It's a fun Halloween movie.
Cult.
VHS Cult. Go to our website, McVentureProductions.com. Give us some money. Give us your love, your devotion.
Your first.
I know a
porn.
lot of people watching Creepshow and making podcasts about it and stuff, but
We're the #1 podcast about Creepshow.
well, it's just like what I was talking about earlier. Is these dorks on the internet don't have any insight. I do. That's why I'm fucking cult leader.
Are there a lot of Creepshow podcasts?
I would assume so because there's a lot of horror movie podcasts and Creepshow is very it's like it's classic. It's called classic.
It's classic.
Top of the list sort of shit.
It's classic.
Yeah, probably a lot of Season of the Witch watching now too, since it's finally getting its due. And people are like, well, did you know that Halloween 3 Season of the Witch doesn't have Mike Myers in it?
It's a Reddit movie detail.
Wow, riveting. If you watch closely in Avengers Endgame, you'll see that Tony Stark has a beard and Captain America's shield gets broken. These are real high art films. Martin Scorsese, go die in a ditch. Okay, bye.
You need a Joker.
Yeah.